Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to News Dose. And yeah, we got lots of Xbox news today. I mean, they really just unloaded today with a showcase announcement, which sounds absolutely incredible right now. There's already a very exciting tease that we'll talk about in a little bit. And then we also need to talk about Xbox Game Pass. Not only did they just reveal their first wave of games for the month of May, but they also revealed a future slate of games at their ID at Xbox showcase. If you're a Game Pass subscriber, then you're going to want to stay tuned because we have lots of games to talk about that I think are wish list candidates. So, I mean, we have a lot to cover today. And of course, do make sure to subscribe if you like this type of content. But let's just go and get right into things, starting off with Nintendo and a possible Xbox partnership. I don't think this is really a major surprise, just considering everything that's happened this year, but this is the first real sign that it will in fact happen at some point, which I assume could actually be for the Switch successor. A Hi-Fi Rush rating by Peggy for the Nintendo Switch has emerged online, and you know, we talk about this type of stuff all the time. Those ratings often do signify official plans behind the scenes. I mean, truth be told, the game industry really might need to stop these leaks from happening because too much information has leaked out because of these different rating boards. But I think in this case, at the very least, I think most people were kind of expecting it anyways. I don't think this is really a major surprise because Hi-Fi Rush already got ported over to the PlayStation 5, and there was already evidence that Hi-Fi Rush was being planned for the Switch at one point. There was that previous leak that revealed what appeared to be an exclusive cosmetic design for Switch consoles. You can see it here. It said rock out anywhere, kind of playing into the Switch's ability to be played anywhere portably. Of course, it also has Nintendo's iconic red color, and this is something that Hi-Fi Rush has been doing with each platform that it's on. You know, each platform has their own custom shirt design. So I absolutely believe this will eventually happen. For me, I think the bigger question is just whether or not Hi-Fi Rush will appear on the current Switch, or if it'll instead be for the Switch successor. Now, for me, I would prefer to see it on the Switch successor. I actually hope it's a launch game because I think that will give it more recognition, and I'm all for that. I think Hi-Fi Rush is an amazing game. It's very unique, which is a rarity for these platform makers a lot of times, and it really does deserve more attention. That way, when the eventual sequel comes out, you know, cross my fingers for that, but then when it comes out, it'll have a better chance to have success. I also think this game, just considering its art style and its play style, I think this is going to be a game that's going to fit right at home on Nintendo consoles. Now, something else that I personally think is interesting, and I understand this is going to be a little bit more niche, but another PlayStation Remote Play app has been ported over to Windows, and apparently it's coming to Linux as well, which is notable in this case because that means it'll eventually be available on the Steam Deck. Either which way, this is for PSPlay, and ROG Ally Life had this to say. PSPlay is one of the most popular apps on the Google Play Store with over 100,000 downloads for PlayStation Remote Play on Android devices such as a phone or tablet. The same app is now released for Windows devices and can be used on the ROG Ally. A Linux port of the app is also in the works. You can follow their subreddit to stay up to date on all of the news here. While there are other options for Remote Play such as Chiaki, they are not as stable and don't get regular updates to make the experience better. Out the gate, this app has more features and settings and can be navigated with the ROG Ally gamepad, making it a seamless experience. So I think that's absolutely fantastic news with the rise of PC gaming handhelds. I mean, by all means, you can go out and purchase the PlayStation Portal if you want a device like that. I have one myself. And I think the two biggest things that the Portal has going for it compared to these third-party apps is really the ease of use. You just kind of turn it on, you click on a few settings, and it just works. It also has that bigger 8-inch display, which, you know, does make a difference when it comes to console games being played on a smaller screen. Now, on the other side, though, I will say that apps like Chiaki offers a smoother experience because for whatever reason, the PlayStation Portal's frame rate doesn't match perfectly with the PlayStation 5. This introduces a little bit of a stutter on the Portal, and it's honestly baffling that they still haven't fix this problem. It's a well-known issue among the PlayStation Portal community, but hey, if PSPlay is better than something like Chiaki, then this is really going to shake up that remote play experience. It really might give these PC gaming giving handhelds the edge when it comes to this type of technology. Maybe if anything else, it'll put Sony on high alert to improve their experience even more. All right, so let's just go and get right into the Xbox news, though, because there's a lot to cover here. Truth be told, they really are the only platform holder that's being somewhat forthcoming with their plans. Nintendo and PlayStation are just dead silent right now. Hopefully that will change soon. But nonetheless, Xbox confirmed their June showcase today. Just as the leaks previously indicated, it's set for June 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Now, there's a few really interesting things about this announcement, and that all starts off with it being a double header. They didn't just announce this one showcase, but they actually announced two back-to-back showcases together. And when you think about that, this actually makes perfect sense. You have to realize that Xbox isn't simply just Xbox anymore. They're so much bigger than that with the inclusion of companies like Bethesda. They have Activision, and they also have Blizzard. So they have the resources and the individual leadership to offer multiple showcases. So what seems to be happening here is much like last year's Starfield showcase. That was a big game for them in 2023, and it had its very own showcase where Bethesda revealed a deep dive into its gameplay. Well, in this case, it appears they're going to do the same thing with Call of Duty. Right now, they're calling this showcase a redacted direct. They're kind of being coy about the situation, but leaks seem to point at it being a Call of Duty direct, and I think that's the perfect thing to do here. Xbox wants to make a big splash with this Activision acquisition, and this is their opportunity to say, hey, Call of Duty is now a part of the Xbox brand. It's going to be on the Xbox stage for the first time in a very long time, and it's going to have its own direct on top of that. You know, just considering the popularity of Call of Duty, this is going to draw a ton of views to the Xbox brand. It's going to have a ton of headlines. Xbox is going to be a big part of all the attention that it gets, and that's big for their brand, especially if the next Call of Duty comes over to Game Pass day one. If they confirm that the next Call of Duty is a day one Game Pass release, that will be a monumental announcement that gives them the edge for one of the biggest franchises ever made. This could be a game changer for them. For that matter, we've also heard rumors that Xbox plans to reveal several Activision games for Game Pass at this showcase. We could actually hear about those old Call of Duty games for Game Pass as early as June 9th. So it really is going to be a monstrous day for them if all of that turns out to be true. And this will be that big welcome to Xbox moment for both Activision and Microsoft. In fact, Aaron Greenberg confirmed that all of the big four will be there. He said, save the date. The Xbox Games Showcase will be on June 9th. We are back again with a double feature. Our first showcase with games from Xbox Game Studios, Bethesda, Activision, and Blizzard, plus titles from our partners around the world. So we're going to see Xbox, Bethesda, Activision, and Blizzard all together for one unified showcase for the first time ever under the same umbrella. This potentially could be a massive, massive showcase and the splash that Xbox has been looking for. Now, the other interesting thing about this showcase, though, is the idea that Gears of War will be there in some capacity. Now, we've already had a lot of leaks claim that Gear 6 will be there, and allegedly, it's going to be one of the most impressive games ever made from a technical point of view. However, according to Tom Warren from Windows Central, he responded to a fan hoping to see Gear 6, and he had something very interesting to say. He said they're not just going to show Gears 6. Now, this kind of insinuates that the Coalition has something else to show besides just Gears of War 6. Now, maybe his words are being taken out of context. That's completely possible here. But of course, this is going to cause rampant speculation. And the belief right now is that this could possibly suggest a Marcus Phoenix collection. I mean, we've heard about this supposed collection for a very long time. Fans have really wanted this ever since the Master Chief collection with Halo. And, is it possible that all of this could finally become a reality? I mean, maybe they could release a Gears collection as early as this year to kind of tide us over until the eventual Gears of War 6. For me, that would be amazing news. As a lot of you all are probably aware, Gears of War to me is a top 3 franchise ever made, especially that original trilogy. If they could somehow bundle Gears Ultimate with a remake of one or maybe even both of the others in that original trilogy, that would be a killer package, and I am all for that. Either which way though, even if this rumor doesn't necessarily pan out, if you're a Gears fan, it still sounds like this will be a must-watch showcase for at least Gears of War 6. That one seems to be all but confirmed by this point. Now, like I said, though, Xbox has been quite busy over the last 24 hours, and that includes some new Game Pass announcements. And we'll go and start off here with the first wave of May games. You can see here this includes Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, Kona 2, Little Kitty: Big City, and Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. So, truth be told, I don't really think that this is a super great lineup of games, but there are still some games definitely worth playing if you haven't already. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, that's a great independent game that launched back in 2013. It's quite old by this point, but it's still a unique, heartfelt experience where you control each brother at the same time. It's a fun game, and it also has a really nice story to tell. I mean, they recently remade it, but honestly, that remake was never really needed because its art style still looks good all of these years later. So I would definitely recommend Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons if you haven't already played it. For that matter, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is another great game. Now, I'm a little concerned about Lara Croft's future and what Crystal Dynamics has planned for her, but the rebooted trilogy, in my opinion, is absolutely fantastic. And the thing is that with the inclusion of Definitive Edition, you'll be able to play through the entire trilogy on Xbox Game Pass. I mean, you just gotta love it. These are amazing games. Definitely go check them out. Then Little Kitty: Big City, that's your day one release. It launches on May 14th, and if anything else, I think it will appeal to a very specific group of people. If you like cats, I mean, look at what happened with Stray a couple years back. It blew up, and people loved that game. So who knows? If you like Stray, maybe keep an eye on this game as well. I think the more interesting news here, though, came from the ID at Xbox showcase. I know most people skips out on these showcases, which honestly, I can't really blame anybody for that. I've said this time and time again, but it doesn't really feel like Xbox respects our time when it comes to these showcases. To me, I think they should just do what Nintendo does with their Indie World Directs. Make it like 25 minutes and more people will tune in for that type of event. I don't know. Xbox and their PR just baffles me at times, but they actually did reveal some really interesting games here, many of which will be available in Game Pass day one. Again, you just gotta love it. So, you know what? Let's just go over those games real quick with their descriptions. Now, I'll try to make this as quick as possible because unlike Xbox, I do actually respect your time. So that all starts off with 33 Immortals. Now, we've seen this game before, but it's a cooperative action roguelike for 33 players. It looks kind of similar to Hades to a degree, but with more of a multiplayer aspect to it. It will have a beta that runs from May 24th to June 2nd, so keep an eye on that if you're interested. They also revealed all you need is help. This is another cooperative focused game, but this time instead, it's a puzzle experience where you work together with these odd, fluffy creatures, which I personally like the idea of this game. The idea that you can solve puzzles together in a unique experience like this, it seems like something fun to try out with somebody else, so, you know, its gameplay might surprise some people. Commando Origins is also heading over to Game Pass, which is a reboot of the classic Commando series. I know there's a lot of fans for that franchise, and for what it's worth, it seems to be shaping up well. I like the art style, and if you want to play a World War II themed tactics RPG, you have this game to look forward to in Xbox Game Pass. Dungeons of Hinterberg also got another update, and this is probably one of their big standouts right now. It's a game that's kind of split into two different things. It's got some social sim elements where you can kind of, travel across the community and talk with different people, but then you go to all of these different dungeons where it challenges you with all of these puzzles and things like that. It's got some Zelda vibes to it, but this one seems like there's some potential here. I mean, who knows until we get to play it ourselves, but that's really the beauty of something like Game Pass. If you're subscribed, you're going to get to play this one day one when it launches later this year in 2024. Now, Humanity is also heading over to Game Pass on May 30th. So this one is right around the corner, and this is a very good game. It actually first launched as a PlayStation Plus title last year, and it's often described as one of the best and most unique puzzle games that you can play right now. It's from the same studio that made Tetris Effect, which is a fantastic game, and it's kind of like a Lemmings type of experience where you guide a mindless mob of people to their goal. Then we also got an update for this year's biggest game so far, Palworld. The hype train continues to roll on because for all of you fans out there waiting for more content, not only is PvP mode in the works, we've talked about that previously, but they also just announced more pals are coming as well. They're apparently dropping them this summer, so this update isn't even all that far away. Definitely good news for fans of Palworld. Now, lastly, Gamer Games also revealed a montage of Game Pass titles. Now, I'll put up some footage on screen here and just kind of let the gameplay speak for itself, but this includes the Rewinder, Firework, Volcano Princess, Depersonalization, and Kepler. So it's cool to see Xbox strike a deal to get all of these independent games into their service, and these are definitely games to maybe keep an eye on. Yes, they are smaller titles, but Gamer Games is well received on Steam. If you look at the reviews for some of these different games, you'll notice that a lot of them have positive reception on Steam. Volcano Princess, as one such example, has a 97% positive rating on Steam with 30,000 reviews. I mean, that's a pretty large sample size, and for it to have 97%, that is rather impressive. The same can be said for the Rewinder, another game that's got overwhelmingly positive reviews. And then also for these other games as well, they were received well. So, don't just ignore these games because they're smaller. They could be true hidden gems. There you go, though. I mean, that's a lot of different games for Game Pass to look forward to. And, again, you Game Pass subscribers are just spoiled by this point. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode. But do let me hear some of your predictions for the Xbox Showcase. What are you expecting to see there? And do you think there's a chance that we could see that often requested Marcus Phoenix collection? Until next time, though, peace out.